Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zack, and today I am driving a 2001 Buick Regal LS Olympic Edition. Up front is a 3.8 liter V6, and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now, I am super excited to be driving this Buick Regal for two reasons. First of all, I haven't actually reviewed this generation of Regal before, and so I'm excited to do that. But the second reason is the fact that this is the Olympic Edition. This was a option package, about $2,000 option package back in 2001 to celebrate the 2000 Olympic Games. And so we'll talk a lot about what some of those differences are, but this was a really rare package that was available on the Regal. I'm excited to share with you this very cool version of a classic Buick. But if you'd like to submit your own vehicle and have it reviewed here on the channel, you can head on over to my website, zackpradel.com/submit. It's a quick and easy submission form. It takes under a minute to fill out, and I come out to you. And if you'd like to see all my videos weeks or sometimes months in advance, you can head on over to my Patreon for only $5 a month. Last but not least, huge thank you to Low Mile Cars in Burridge, Illinois for letting me borrow their 2001 Buick Regal for today's video. More on them towards the end, but if you'd like to browse their inventory of low mileage, very clean cars, you can head on over to their website found in the description below. But let's talk about what the Olympic package was. Well, it could be applied to any trim level of the Buick Regal. So this one is the naturally aspirated 3.8 liter. You could get it with the supercharged 3.8 liter that made about 40 more horsepower, and so features might differ and whatnot. What the Olympic package was mainly the color. You could either get them in graphite, silver, or gold. Obviously, if you're gonna go for the Olympics, you should go for gold. But you got little additions like floor mats that were branded for the Olympics. You got the monsoon speakers, and this was actually designed in partnership with a designer, and his name is on the door. Not totally sure how to pronounce it, but that's his name. And so in typical GM fashion, to celebrate the 2000 Olympics, they missed it by a single model year. This was technically available during the Olympics, but since the Olympics were in like August and September, they made it the next model year because no one wants to buy a car at the end of its model year, so then it's obsolete by January 1st. Blah, blah, blah. Here it is. This was to commemorate the 2000 Olympics. But let's hop back up front to that 3.8 liter V6. That is the 3800 Series 2 engine. They had a Series 1, 2, and 3, one of the most reliable engines to ever come out of GM. This particular vehicle only has 88,000 miles on it, and it is barely broken in. 200 horsepower out of this. However, again, there was a supercharged version that made 240, and that is equally reliable. Even for being supercharged, even for having forced induction, it is a very reliable engine. So no matter what, you're good here in the Buick Regal. Like I said, paired to it, 4-speed automatic transmission. Not a super sporty, fun, or agile transmission, but it's shifting the gears, and again, it's pretty reliable, so I don't really have any complaints. Last but not least about the drivetrain, of course, the Regal LS is front-wheel drive. How does it feel to drive the Regal? It's incredible. It is so smooth. It is so silky down the road. It's comfortable. And honestly, the biggest fear I have with this car is falling asleep behind the wheel, because it just rocks you to sleep. It is a monotone speaker in a conference hall. It's an ice cold school desk in a hot classroom. It's like reading the word yawn over and over and over again. It is so lovely. And that is the cornerstone, that's the talking point, the major gift that the Buick Regal gives us. And most Buick rode like this in this era. It's not anything too crazy or special, but still very nice. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have 4 gauges and some warning lights. Off to the left, we have our anti-lock, oil, and battery voltage warnings. Then we have our tachometer, speedometer, fuel, and coolant temperature, and then more warnings off to the right for seatbelt, airbag, and brake. On the steering wheel, we do have seek, scan, AM, and FM, as well as our source, mute, and volume. One of the cool parts of this car is that when you actually hit the volume, the physical knob on the radio turns on its own. Very cool to see that here. Off to the left, we have our headlight switch, climate control vent, and our Grand Touring suspension. not grand touring suspension, and our little fog light control down below that. And moving out of the door, we have our monsoon speaker, lock and unlock, power mirrors, and power windows. Moving into the center, we have our radio. Again, this is a monsoon radio, so an upgraded radio for that Olympic package. You have adjustments for bass, treble, fade, balance, all of that, and a cassette player as well as CD player, so that sort of crossover era in 2001. Love to see that. Down below, we have our climate controls. We get dual zone climate here. Love to see that. And I love the LED lights that come up as you adjust the passenger's temperature. Really love this. This feels futuristic even here in 2026, so I love to see that. We do have an ashtray and cigarette lighter, the shifter in the center, traction control on and off. What I can assume would have been a cup holder. It has been pretty wildly mauled here. It doesn't really resemble that much anymore. So it fails the big friggin' bottle test. We expected it would. Here we are. Then we have the center console and the seats. The seats, much like the suspension, just allow you to sink in. They feel like your grandma's couch. They feel so warm and welcoming and just this embrace that you don't find in modern automobiles. Part of me feels like I could roast one of these over a fire, put it with some graham crackers and chocolate, and have a nice little treat. That's how much I love these seats. They are truly spectacular, and I just will continue to love them for pretty much the rest of forever. However, speaking of seats, we do have back seats, so let's go do a back seat review. All right, getting in the back of the Buick Regal LS, and I already know this is going to be good. So, knees are hitting the seat in front of me. There's not a whole lot of rear leg room. We do have cup holders that fold down as well. We get a tiny little ashtray. Thank God for that. No climate vents, but at least we can smoke a dart in the back of our Regal. The biggest thing is the actual cushioning. These seats are so squishy, so comfortable, you sink into them immediately. You thought these were comfy, these are even comfier, and they are lovely. Headroom is not bad either. I do fit 5'11", not a small guy. Knee room's a little bit tough, but I don't care. I'm sinking into these seats. I'm enjoying it. I'm comfy. That's it. Maybe my knees touch, a little bit of leather. I'm okay with that because these are just such good seats. So, not much else to really tell you back here. There's no crazy formulas or anything like that. It's just comfy seats through and through. Nothing more. Let's talk about the trunk, and then we'll talk about the looks. Wild to me that in this era, 2001, Buick still had two separate keys. So this was for the ignition. This was for the trunk. Wild. Pull this up, and as you can see, these are the floor mats. We want to keep these nice for the next owner, but as you can see, the Olympic crest on them. Love to see that. So incredibly cool. Team USA, baby. Love that. Also, of course, it is a Buick, so it has an absolutely ginormous trunk. As one would expect, plenty to fit your bodies back here or whatever you need to in your Buick. Love, love, love to see that. And here are the option codes for this particular vehicle. There you go, in case you want to do your own research. But that is the trunk of the Buick Regal LS Olympic Edition. Now we got to talk about the looks. And obviously it is finished in gold, and it is quite striking at that. It's a very loud color, very in-your-face color. Again, part of that Olympic package. And to me, this is so quintessential Buick. I mean, every Buick in my head is champagne colored from this era, because most of them were, a lot of them were, but this was a special gold. This ain't your grandpa's Buick. So overall, I think the styling is okay. I think the styling was kind of mushy, and I guess I don't have the best thoughts or feelings about this. I've never really cared for how these look at all. With all of that being said, let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving not only the Buick Regal, but a pretty rare edition as well? Well, first of all, let's talk about the Regal. I like it a lot. I think it does a lot of things really, really well, and especially this vehicle with 88,000 miles, this is still going to be a great daily driver here in 2026. I know this car is 25 years old, a quarter century old. Normally, I wouldn't recommend daily driving something this old, but It still has good features. It's going to be reliable. It's going to be very, very comfortable. More comfortable than any modern economy car you're going to be able to find. For the same price that this is going for, you could buy a Mitsubishi Mirage and just hate every moment of every driving experience. But this, no, this is comfortable and great. The Olympic Edition is fun. It's not a crazy package. It's not something that, if I see on the road, I'm going to go, oh my God, that person is having the best time of their life because of that package. No, it's nice. The speakers, the floor mats, the headrest, the stylistic look of it. But I'm not running out into traffic trying to capture a picture of one. And that's okay. Not every car has to be that way. It's rare, it's unique, and boy, is this one clean. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Huge thank you to Low Mile Cars here in Burr Ridge, Illinois, for letting me borrow their Buick Regal Olympic Edition here today. They've been absolutely wonderful. I've reviewed so many cars from them, and they are always true to their word of low mile, very clean examples of said cars. I did a Dodge Dakota with only 20,000 miles on it from them, and it was wonderful. I also filmed their Chevy Avalanche that has about 75,000 miles on it, and you don't find those cars in that condition anymore. So, Low Mile Cars is the place to go if you want a low mileage, clean example of a vehicle like this Buick Regal. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.